Meanwhile, Amara was on her knees alone in the house, the silence pressing in around her as tears streamed relentlessly down her face. Her hands were clenched tightly together, knuckles white, her eyes shut as if afraid that opening them would make the fear inside her real. She lifted her face slightly, her voice breaking as she spoke, admitting that she hardly ever prayed, that she rarely found herself on her knees like this. She confessed that it embarrassed her, that she only ever seemed to come to God when things were falling apart, when she was desperate, when she needed help. She said all she wanted was for Liwei to be protected, for him to be safe, for him to come back alive. She pleaded for everything to go well, for fate to be merciful just this once. Her voice trembled as she added that if anything happened to him, if she lost him, she would never be okay. She didn't believe she would survive that kind of pain. She admitted that if he died, she would rather end her life and be buried beside him, because that would be the only way she could stay with him forever, even in the afterlife. She begged for protection, for guidance, for his safety, wherever he was. Before she could continue, the doorbell rang. The sound shattered the stillness, startling her violently. She gasped, scrambling to her feet, her heart racing as hope surged painfully through her chest. For a fleeting second, she believed it was Liwei, that he had come back, that he had changed his mind. She rushed to the door, flinging it open, only for her expression to collapse when she saw Momo standing there. Momo stepped inside immediately. Concern filled her eyes as she looked at Amara, asking if she was okay. She moved closer, noticing her swollen eyes, the tear-stained face, and asked what had happened, whether she had been crying. Amara couldn't speak. She stood there on the brink of breaking all over again, and without pressing her for answers, Momo simply pulled her into a tight embrace. She held her firmly, telling her she was there now, that she could let it all out, that she wouldn't judge her. She encouraged her to cry, to release everything she had been holding inside. Amara clung to her, sobbing uncontrollably, and Momo didn't let go, tightening her arms around her, grounding her, staying with her, until the tremors slowly began to ease. Meanwhile, Liwei stood with Master Shen and the men who were going to assist with the mission. They were gathered near the base, the air thick with tension. Master Shen stood before them, issuing instructions with precision. He explained how they would be positioned near the building where Liwei would meet the mastermind. He stated that once Liwei gave him the signal, he would relay it to them, and they would move in immediately. He reminded them that this was a fight for survival. Kill or be killed. There would be no room for mercy. If they hesitated, if they held back, they would be the ones who died. Master Shen paused and turned to Liwei, asking if he wanted to add anything. Liwei stepped forward. His voice was firm, cold and final, his eyes radiating a darkness that silenced the group. He stated that the mastermind was his. No one was to touch him, no one was to interfere. That target belonged to him alone. The men murmured their agreement. Master Shen nodded once more and told them to begin preparing. He glanced at Liwei and told him they should get ready as well. With that, he headed into the base, and Liwei followed closely behind. Nearby, Wubin and Kai sat in the car, watching everything unfold from a distance. He glanced at Kai and asked what kind of mission this was, noting how dangerous it seemed. Kai revealed that Liwei was going after the people who had killed his family, that he had been preparing for this since he was 16, and that Master Shen appeared to be the one helping him. Wubin commented that it looked like they were preparing for war. Kai told him they should leave, that they could investigate Master Shen another time, that this wasn't the right moment. Wubin asked him if he wasn't going to help his cousin. Kai immediately shook his head, saying he didn't want to get involved. He added that Liwei was strong enough to handle this on his own, that he had come too far and was clearly prepared. He urged Wubin again to go back. Wubin refused. He said something wasn't right. Turning to Kai, he stated that he was going to search Master Shen's car to see if he could find anything. As he moved to step out, Kai grabbed him, asking if he had lost his mind, reminding him that the men outside were working with Master Shen and would catch him. Wubin kept his gaze steady on Kai and asked if he had forgotten who he was. He said that once he set his mind on something, there was no stopping him. He reminded Kai that this was exactly what he had asked him to do. He instructed Kai to stay in the car and keep watch. Then he stepped out, leaving Kai behind, frustration boiling as Kai muttered that he had forgotten just how stubborn Wubin was. Even worse than liwei. Inside the base, liwei stood with Master Shen as they prepared. Master Shen explained that since liwei would be searched upon entry, he wouldn't be able to carry any weapons. He added that they were already alert, especially after liwei had previously managed to sneak in a poisoned dart. For now, liwei would be equipped with hidden microphones and small cameras. When the time came, his men would enter and bring the weapons to him. Liwei stated calmly that he didn't need weapons to kill the mastermind, that even with his bare hands, he would end him. Master Shen kept his eyes on him and warned him not to let his emotions take over, reminding him that he needed to remain level-headed. He reached for his phone to check the time, then froze as he realized he had left it in the car. Without hesitation, he rushed outside to retrieve it. At the same time, Wubin was inside Master Shen's car, searching quickly for anything useful. His eyes caught sight of a phone tucked beneath the seat. He grabbed it, already assuming it would be locked. Master Shen was far too cautious not to secure it. He pressed the screen. Unlocked. His eyes widened. He immediately connected it to his own phone and began transferring the data, watching the loading bar crawl forward. As it progressed, he glanced up, and his breath caught. Master Shen was approaching. Too close. Panic surged through Wubin as he realized he was about to be caught. Before Master Shen could reach his car, one of his men approached him, his steps quick, urgency written across his face. He asked when they were taking action, reminding him that time was ticking. Master Shen glanced at him calmly and told him it would be in a few minutes. With that, he turned away and continued toward his car. He opened the door and reached inside, retrieving his cell phone. As he straightened, his eyes scanned the interior of the vehicle with quiet precision. Something was off. Someone had been there. His gaze lingered for a moment longer before shifting back to the phone in his hand. A low laugh escaped him, brief and knowing, as he murmured that it seemed his plan had worked. Satisfied, he closed the door and walked away. Beneath the car, Wubin remained perfectly still. Only after Master Shen had fully disappeared did he slide out from underneath, his movements swift and controlled. He didn't hesitate. He rushed back toward Kai, opened the car door, and slipped inside. Kai turned to him immediately, shaking his head in disbelief. He told him he was completely insane, that if something had happened to him, how was he supposed to explain it to his family in Korea, and that his best friend would fly all the way to China just to murder him herself. Wubin barely reacted. His eyes remained fixed on his cell phone as he told Kai he was overreacting. He said nothing could touch him. Kai asked if they could leave now. Wubin shook his head, stating they needed to wait. He added that he had a bad feeling, that liwei might be in danger, and that they might need to step in and help if anything went wrong. Kai stared at him, surprised, asking how investigating Master Shen had somehow turned into them getting involved in liwei's revenge mission. Wubin looked at him and told him he was talking as if liwei wasn't his cousin. He said that if anything happened to liwei, Kai would be the first one to break down. Kai responded that he had already told liwei he wouldn't be involved. Wubin turned to him again and stated firmly that they were already involved. He reminded him that liwei was his cousin, and as his friend, he had witnessed Kai nearly destroy himself after liwei's family died. He added that if anything happened to liwei now, he could only imagine how broken Kai would become, and that he would be the one left struggling to look after him, watching over him as he fell apart. Kai fell silent. He knew Wu Bin was right. Their attention shifted at the same time as movement caught their eyes outside, where liwei stood facing Master Shen and told him he was moving. He instructed him to make sure everything went according to plan. Master Shen nodded, telling him he would be right behind him and that he should take care. He watched as liwei turned and walked toward his car, his chest tightening with a thought he refused to voice, that this might be the last time he ever saw him. Liwei got into the car and started the engine. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the locket necklace Amara had given him. He stared at it briefly, then pressed it to his lips, kissing it softly before placing it around his neck. Then he drove off. He arrived at the designated location and pulled over. For a moment, he remained inside the car, leaning back against the seat, his eyes closed. His fingers rose to the necklace, brushing it slowly as he breathed. After a few seconds, he opened his eyes, stepped out, and moved forward. His steps were firm, deliberate. At the entrance, he showed the message indicating where he was to meet the mastermind. They searched him thoroughly, methodically, before blindfolding him as usual. Hands guided him forward as they led him deeper inside. With every step, the space grew quieter, emptier. His footsteps echoed. The air felt hollow. They made him sit. He immediately felt water beneath his feet. The atmosphere was damp, the sound of dripping echoing faintly around him. It felt like a cave, enclosed, moist, alive with silence. Moments later, they removed the blindfold and walked away. Liwei opened his eyes. He was seated in the middle of a vast hall, water pooling beneath him. His gaze lifted slowly, and there, on the other side, sat the mastermind. A glass of whiskey rested in his hand. A large screen loomed behind him. Silence stretched between them as their eyes met. Finally, the mastermind spoke. He said they were finally meeting again, that he had been looking forward to this moment. Leaning forward slightly, he chuckled, telling liwei this meeting would be far more interesting, far more dramatic than the last one. Liwei said nothing. His gaze remained fixed, dark and unyielding. Every thought inside him narrowed down to one thing: getting his hands on him, ending him. The man continued, telling him that before they discussed business, there was something he needed to see. He turned on the screen. A video began to play. Liwei's family appeared inside their home moments before the explosion, before the house was reduced to ash. Liwei felt his heart twist violently. Heat surged through his body as he watched. His chest burned. He had always wondered what their final moments had been like. Now they were displayed before him, in full detail, inescapable.